Hey folks, Jonathan here, working on the seat. I worked on it last night. I did get this sewn up. I did use white thread and red, but I didn't have any other color threads, so it's just going to have to be white. So we got the pleats done, and let me see, we've got some extra material. I got some black too, 1 yard of black because that's all they had, and then I got 3 yards of the red. But we changed up on the seat. You know, I was going to use the Buick seat. I really wanted to, but we was running into some issues with mainly with the length of it, and also the fact that they had a lot of panels around the sides of that seat that was supposed to be screwed on. And I got to looking, if I take the brackets off for them, the seat wasn't going to, you know, the cover wasn't going to form around it really well. And so I opted to jump to this seat, which is a Dodge seat. Now this was it's got the springs I like, which, you know, that really didn't matter to me that much, but we took 18 inches out. You can see where we welded it back together, and I'm working on covering it now. We've got my material hog ringed on the top side, and now I'm putting this material on, and then we're going to put the foam over it, and then we're going to get to work on that cover and try to get this done here in just a little while. That way we can go ahead and have a seat to fit in to get our measurements for our steering wheel and stuff. So I'm rolling along on that. I probably won't get to film much, but that's where we're at. That's what we're doing, and we'll have to make some brackets or something for this seat to make it sit up where it needs to sit. I think this is actually probably the back seat where your back goes against, but I did sit on it and it does feel really well. It's, you know, it's a good strong seat, so I don't see any issues with it. The seat we're using on the back side is actually another back piece out of a Willys pickup. Matter of fact, the rat rod build that we done, the one-day build, I kept the back seat out of it, and so we're going to use it. We're going to narrow it up and do everything we need to do to get it to fit in the way we want. But anyway, I'm going to get at this and try to get it knocked out, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay folks, seat's done. It's not perfect. Rush job, but that's okay. Here's what we're doing so far. What the plan is I made these pieces and got them tacked in, and then we're going to go on the inside of this about 1 inch down and weld some pieces in so the seat sits down in, and that way the seat just lifts out and you get right to the battery with no problem. Also made it where when the seat's on, you can actually get the battery box out and jump start it without having to take the seat out, but the seat will just be sitting into where you can pull it up out when we're done here. So we'll go ahead and we'll probably make a piece back here also to hold up on it, but for now we've got it where we need it. We're going to finish welding, and then like I said, we're going to go about 1 inch down. So I'll get that knocked out and I'll show you what it looks like. Decided to go ahead and leave this bar in because it's not going to be in our way. We just notched out for it, and that'll help tie the body together and stay together. And this body is solid as a rock. I mean, it's not, you can push back and forth all you want, and you're going to move the suspension, you're not going to twist the body. So all this extra sheet metal that we put in, which is heavier than what was, you know, in it originally anyway, well, most of it was wood. So all right, we'll get at it. Okay folks, here's what we've got. I'll show you in just a minute. I'll take it out and show you how we've done it. We're actually cutting the pieces for the back now to go on. It's going to go on this panel that bolts in and out. That'll hold the back of the seat up. So just a quick dirty job. I still got some, I'm going to do some stretching, try to get some wrinkles out of the side of this, but you know, it's good for the quick work we done. That was all it was just a quick job. So anyway, so it comes over here, stops, bends down, and then it starts back right here and goes all the way around. So the red trim stuff was extra stuff that came with the El Camino that Art had picked up, so that worked out really well. It matches, but not only does it match, it keeps this metal from cutting into my seat or anything when we put it on. So that's going to work good. But let me show you what we've done on the ledges. We just got 1 inch ledge around it and put it there, and then we're going to run one across the back, and we got one on the other side, and that's it. And it just fits right back down in the spot, and that ought to work just fine. Good place to sit. Just don't like my wrinkle on this side, but I noticed evidently I missed a couple of fog rings there in a hurry. But we'll make a back for it and it'll be good to go. Okay, Noah's taking this back panel back off. We've got our plate in and everything, but he's taking it off so we can put the fitting in the bottom of the fuel tank and have it plumbed in permanent. And we got the battery in, we've got power running the starter. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the wiring. So I probably won't show a lot of that, but I'll show a little bit. Tight, Noah?
Yeah.
I have to find that big flat. So we'll show some of that, and then hopefully I can have it wired to where it'll start up tonight. I don't see that as being a problem though. We're moving along. Okay folks, Noah's just leaving. We've got everything back in. We've got the fuel tank hooked up, and Noah and Shane came by today and brought gas cap. He actually hung around and helped Noah get these gauges and stuff in. So that's done, and they're hooked up, oil pressure and water temperature. So seats in, windows are in. We went ahead and done it while I had help here because Noah's not going to be working this weekend. So I didn't want to mess with it a lot by myself. As you can see, the black where it's pushed out, and I don't touch that until it's done completely dry, and then I'll cut it out. So then we're glued in with urethane. They won't go anywhere. And let me see, I've still got to do the seat back, and we're not going to work on that until tonight because I can do that at night. Now we've got all the wiring stripped off, changed the coil because this had a ballast resistor. This coil here, I bought quite a few of them that were internal resistor, so I don't have to run an external. And I went ahead and changed the alternator. This had a alternator with an external voltage regulator, and I wanted to go ahead and put an internal regulator alternator on it. So I've done that. That way I didn't have to take off the voltage regulator off the other body and then wire it and all that. So because I'm rewiring pretty much everything. Actually, I am rewiring everything but the positive cable running from the battery. And there's no use messing with what they had. Some of it was nice, some of it was just a darn mess, and I just would rather start over. So, most important thing first. Okay, we got to get a power wire running from here. It's supposed to run through our amp gauge. I don't know if I'm going to run it through our amp gauge, but then to the battery side of the new ignition switch. And then, of course, the inside terminal on a GM. We want that lug to run to the start. We are going to run, this is not a one-wire alternator. This is actually a regular GM alternator. So what we'll do is run power. Now they had that, this is in the same spot as the other one, and it with the belt on it goes in so it don't touch the manifold, but we've got to put our plug on. That's why we left it loose. And one wire, the big wire from the plug goes right back to positive. The small wire has to go to the accessory side of the switch. You can't run it to the regular power side of the switch because it will drain your battery dead. What happens is if you wire it all the time, you'll drain the battery. If you wire it into the regular spot on your key switch where your coil's at, the charging will not let you shut the engine off. So that's why it has to be ran to the accessory side. Pretty simple, no problem. We're going to get that. We're going to get the wiring done tonight. That's the plan. Or not all of it, maybe not the lights and stuff, but we will get it started tonight. We've got the gas tank hooked up and put a little bit of gas in it because I didn't have much, but we'll go ahead and run the wires to be able to fire it. And that much will be done. I don't think we're going to have any trouble making it. It's just how much work am I going to get done beforehand. You know, I've still got to make pins for this and grind and all that, and I'm still planning to put one day of just welding, fabricating and welding, you know, the panels and everything. So I don't know if that's going to be Saturday or Sunday or even maybe Monday, but no, we'll be back Monday to give us a hand. So we'll just keep at it, working as hard as we can, and I'll work up until dark here, and then I'll jump into the upholstery shop and go ahead and make our seat back. And not sure what I'm going to do yet on it. I was going to use I'll show you what I was going to use. Okay, I really wanted to use this back, and this is a Willys truck back, and it actually hinged. But the problem is it's so rusty You can see the springs broke. We was hoping we could take enough apart where we could still, because we've got to narrow it up, we can still get enough out of it, but it's too far gone. There's just nothing I can do with it. And just too many springs broke. So that's not going to work. I can just cut out a piece of plywood, you know, foam it and make it. I really don't want to. I'd rather have something with springs, but you know, whatever happens, happens. We're going to do it whatever we've got to do. But I'll go ahead and make make the, you know, the piece with the pleats in it. You know, the front of it. We can always cut it down. Well, we got to cut it down anyway to shape it. Noah has worked on this steering wheel pretty hard. This is the steering wheel that was on that rat rod, and it had been in the sun and wet and dry, and it almost looked like it was turned white. So Noah sanded it, and he's put coats and coats and coats of clear on it, and it's just actually a Grant wheel, and it looks really good. So I think that'll be nice on there. So anyway, sitting in it, we figured out where we wanted the steering wheel, except for the fact that I was sitting back too far. So I think we're probably going to take 2 inches out of the steering shaft, but I really still want to wait until I get the seat back mounted. You know, the steering it's not time consuming, you know, really hard job. I wanted to get some more done on this, fabricated and smoothed in to make it look like it's supposed to be there, and not just something I slapped up there, but it don't look like that's going to happen. Maybe, you don't never know. I mean, we may end up getting enough time to do that, but as it looks now, probably not. You know, we are going to get the rockers on, get some more body work and welding and stuff done. But for now, that's it. I'm going to jump on the wiring and see what I can get done on it. Okay, we got the bare necessities here. Well, I had to leave, so it's dark as can be, and actually pretty late, so unfortunately I'm not going to get any more done on this. So I will do some more video tomorrow and show you more. Appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, bye.